Welcome to Slow Pour Whiskey. My name's Trent, and today we're going to be talking about the Port Charlotte 10-year-old. Hey, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you clicking on this video. I assume it has nothing to do with me and a little bit more to do with the fact that we're going to be talking about the very well-known, the famous, maybe the king of Islay, the Port Charlotte 10-year-old. Right off the bat here, I want to show you what the dram looks like. You can see this natural color going on here. It is beautiful. No color added. Burchladdich never adds color. And when you spin it in the glass, we spilled a little bit there. When you spin it in the glass, you can see the legs forming. That means there's a viscosity. So this is natural color, no color added. This is non-chill filtered, which is why it's sticking to the glass so well. There's actual oils and viscosity and texture and flavor left in this because Burchladdich kind of revitalized, especially on Islay, the idea that good whiskey is presented with integrity, meaning that it is 46% alcohol by volume or higher. It is unchill filtered, and it is natural color, and all of these apply to Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte is obviously produced by the Burchladdich distillery. They have been on Islay for 25 years or so now. They, I believe, started in 2021, somewhere in there. And you could call this the king of Islay Scotch. It is packed with peatiness at 40 parts per million. It's extremely highly peated. It is smoky. When you put it on the nose, you get campfire smoke, savory, sweet campfire smoke, and vanilla and floralness too. It's light and fruity. That's because this is ex-bourbon cask. This has also 25% wine casks, and it has sherry casks. So this is a mixture of casks, and the wine casks really bring out this light fruitiness to it. So this isn't just a punch in the face of peat, though it is. This has a lot of complexity, a lot of layers to it. It's partially why this is such a well-beloved dram, such a well-beloved expression from the Burchladdich distillery. So let's go ahead and get it on the nose and see what we can find here. Peat, campfire, vanilla. There's floralness to it. There's a mintiness to it. There's sea saltiness to it. So the Burchladdich distillery is on the Isle of Islay, which is obviously an island, and it is surrounded by the coast. And Burchladdich, not all the distilleries on Islay age their whiskeys in barrels on Islay. They might distill on Islay, but then they send their barrels to the mainland to sit and age in the casks. But Burchladdich, they age their casks on the Isle of Islay. So as this sits for 10 years, this is a 10-year-old expression, which means the youngest spirit in this bottle is 10 years old. There might be some older than 10, maybe a little bit. I don't know. It kind of tastes like a 10-year-old to me. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube talking about whiskey as if I know what I'm talking about. The minimum age in this bottle is 10 years old, and all 10 years this sat in sea air, sitting in the casks in the warehouses, aging, and that saltiness coming in. So this has a very coastal character, as well as the smokiness, as well as the sweet fruitiness. Let's get this on the nose one more time. It's got like a sweet confectioner's sugar kind of going on as well, which is interesting. Mint, spearmint, sea salty, pools of salt water in rocks. Let's get this on the palate. Cheers. It starts off smoky and salty, and then it transitions to kind of sweet and then kind of savory and a little bit sour. There is a lot going on. in this whiskey. It is not one-dimensional. It is beautiful. It ebbs and flows, and it kind of starts off dark and foreboding, and then it gets kind of sweet, and then it gets kind of floral, and then salty and soury, and it's very good. I'm going to add some water. So this is a Burchladdich, and Burchladdich, they always bottle their whiskeys at least 50%. I believe they're all at 50%. There may be some, if they're, I'm trying to remember if there's a cask strength. If there's cask strength, that might be higher than 50%. But all their standard bottles are at 50% ABV. So I'm going to add some water to this. You don't have to add water. You can drink it on the rocks if you want. I wouldn't recommend it if you want to really appreciate and enjoy it. You can add water. You can drink it with whiskey rocks. You can drink it straight. I'm going to add a little bit of water and see if we can see some. It's going to be hard for you to see on camera maybe, but there's some swirling there's some swirling oils in there, which means it is non-chill filtered, because when you add water, it doesn't, the oils don't mix well with the water. So that's a good sign. We're going to let that water sit in there for a minute. And I just want to talk to you about this whiskey. I love this whiskey. You probably don't even need to be watching this video. There are so many videos, so many people talking about Port Charlotte 10-year-old on YouTube. I'm sharing it with you because I am doing this channel and I struggle sometimes with following through on even things I really want to do. And I've wanted to talk about this whiskey for a long time, but I've been like, I don't know, should I? Like other people talk about it. And it's just really important to just like follow through on what you want to do. I run a business. I have a video production company. I am working with people, working with organizations, and I'm much better about helping other people get what they want accomplished. And I have a harder time helping myself get those things done. And I have wanted to talk about this for a long time, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this one. This is the one I'm going to talk about. And you maybe have seen it on YouTube before. Maybe this is an echo chamber video, but it's something I enjoy. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to express things that I care about to people, assuming that I'm making things about me, or that I'm trying to like show off, or I'm trying to, I don't know, get people to care about me. When in reality, sometimes people just want to hear what we have to say, what we have to share. And this is something I would love to share with you. I bought this. This is actually my second bottle of the Port Charlotte 10-year-old. I bought this so I could share it with a client on a film set. After we were done on the film set, I knew that she was into whiskey. She really enjoyed some whiskeys. We talked about that the last time we were on a shoot. And so I bought this bottle to bring to set to share with her and other people on the set. It was at the end of the shoot day. I wasn't drinking it during the day. It was just when we wrapped for the day. I shared it with her and I said, hey, I told you about this the last time we talked. You haven't had it before. Based on some other whiskeys. She said she liked Ardbeg. She liked Ardbeg 10-year-old. And I said, ooh, I think I have something you might like then. This is different than Ardbeg 10-year-old. Ardbeg is a little bit more dry campfire logs. It's a little bit more on the mineralic side. It's more like stones and slate and solid earth. And this is more campfire and juicy and fruity and salty sea air. There's a little bit more depth, I feel like, where what's beautiful about the Ardbeg 10, which I'll review at some point. Although, if you look at my channel, you'll see there's an Ardbeg 10 cask strength review. Maybe you should check that one out. That is amazing. But the Ardbeg 10 is like a higher shelf flavor, and this has real depth and oomph to it. It's dark and foreboding. This is like drinking Scotch on the coast as a storm is rolling through, and you're sitting by a fire. Let's get this on the nose now that we've added some water and given it some time to sit. Much more floral now. There's more mint, spearmint. I don't know. I get some like chocolate. It's not really chocolate. What is that? I don't know. I get a little bit of chocolate. I get a little bit of deep sweetness. Red fruits. This is red fruits. vanilla caramel, some like melon in there maybe, or some like some melony sweetness in there as well. It's all underneath this solid level of smokiness and peat. Pineapple. I think it's a pineapple. I think it's like a grilled pineapple thing going on, which I really like. It fits with the campfire vibe. Maybe a little bit of like smoked meats in the background, but it is pretty like campfire, but it's like a wet log campfire. It's not super dry smoke. It's a wetter, fuller. It's not boggy peat, but it's like a more smoldering fire, maybe. Cheers. It's savory and salty, and then sour, and then a little bit bitter, and then sweet. There's movements to the main textures and feelings. It's a little bit effervescent, but it's very like solid and dense. It coats your palate. There's tannins on the side of the tongue. There's vanilla. There's cream. There's Burchladdich distillery has a little bit of a lactic note to it, especially the Burchladdich 18-year-old. I have a bottle of that. I'll review that at some time. That has a definite like funky cheesiness to it, kind of a lactic note. And this, you can tell there's a touch of that in there in the background. And that adds a little bit of an industrial funk. It's a very clean. It's very interesting because it's like this broad thing of peat going on top. But once you get like a fog of peat, but it's intense. And it's like once you break through that layer, you get down to vanilla. And it's clean, and it's like there's space for the different elements to breathe underneath this big wall of peat. The peat definitely comes across a little less, maybe not intense, but a little bit more sharp and clean than at the beginning without water. Without water, it's very rolling with peat. When you add water, it kind of restrains that a little bit. It gets a little bit more clearly defined. Let's get one more taste on the palate here. I mean, maybe there's some like berries, not like fresh berries, but like muted like jam or like preserve berries. Salt, savory. Maybe a touch of like barbecue in there. Coals and campfire and wet stones. Rock pools, kinda. The waves washing up on the beach. It's definitely the dark, foreboding smell before a storm. Let's see what the finish is like. A little bit of white pepper at the end, but in a really nice, gentle, smooth way. Sweet and smoky, savory. A little bit of a tart or a little bit of a dry jam, red fruit jam maybe. It's also got a saltiness, like a bacon kind of thing going on. I don't know that it tastes like bacon, but it reminds me of the way bacon makes my mouth feel. It just feels so good on your tongue. It feels so good in your mouth. The way it coats and covers everything. This is a fantastic whiskey. This is not an old whiskey. It's 10 years old. It is a young whiskey, but it's of age. It's on the young side of age. It's, I would say, an 8-year-old whiskey, a 6-year-old whiskey, 5-year-old whiskey are young whiskeys. 10 years old is a legitimate age for a whiskey. Now, to be clear, I really like young whiskeys because they've got a punch. They've got a fieriness to them. They've got an intensity to them. The Springbank 5-year-old cask strength, the Kilkerran 8-year-old, the Ardbeg, the Ardbeg 5-year-old wee beastie, all of those have a punchiness to them because an intensity with them because they're young. 10 is old enough to have some character and to have some refinement, to have some shape, and it has come together in the cask, and it's married these casks well. Remember, this is ex-bourbon, this is sherry, and it's 25% wine casks. Burchladdich does a lot with wine casks, and wine casks are divisive in Scotch, but it works so well in this. I would highly encourage you to give this whiskey a chance. Try it at a pub. If you don't like peated whiskeys, you won't like it. If you like peated whiskeys, you may love this Scotch. Let's get one more on the palate, one last taste, and then we'll give this a rating. There's a clean ashiness. There's pineapple. There's a little bit of tropical coming in there now, but it's very minty, menthol, a little bit iodine, but not like Laphroaig. This is in the campfire. I don't know. I feel like this is campfire and a little bit on the meaty side, but also just a tiny bit towards the iodine. Maybe it's the bitterness. A little bit medicinal. It's definitely the herbalness in this. This has a smoky meatiness like an Ardbeg might. And it has a little bit of a bitterness that leans towards iodine like a Laphroaig might. I think this is a fantastic whiskey. I think you should check it out. I will give this an 89 out of 100. I think especially for the price, maybe for the price, this should be a 90. This is an incredible whiskey. For price in Chicago, it's around $65, something like that, $65. This is a great whiskey. It has a lot of complexity, has a lot of different mouthfeels. It transitions and has different phases as it rolls across the tongue. It's effervescent, it's deep, and it's sharp, and it's everything in between. There's a muddiness and a cleanness and a peatiness, but a sweetness. Port Charlotte 10-year-old, let's give it a 90 out of 100. I think if you enjoy peated whiskey and you haven't tried this, this should be one you try soon. If all the people talking about it on YouTube aren't enough to convince you, maybe one more random white dude talking to you about whiskey will encourage you to pick up a bottle and share it with people. That's what I love about whiskey. I love being able to buy a bottle and share it with people. The woman that I shared it with loved this. She raved about this. Everyone on set afterwards, we were talking about this. And we were also talking about other fancier scotches. And this one just, it made, we were talking about fancy, well-known single malt Scotch whiskeys. And this one, after everyone was talking about all that stuff, we tried it and everyone was like, wow. And people asked me, how did I find out about this? Where did I hear about it? And like, how do I choose my whiskey? And it turned into a whole conversation. Sharing these things with each other, sharing these things with the people we care about, because we enjoy them. Sometimes people want to hear what you have to say. Sometimes we all have something to share. We all have something to say, and we choose not to. And I want to encourage you, share what matters to you. Tell the people in your life what matters to you. Give them the chance to show you that they appreciate and care about what you have to say and the things that you bring to the table. With that, I'd like to ask you, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment for me. Let me know what you think of the Burchladdich Port Charlotte 10-year-old. If you enjoy it, if you don't enjoy it, what you enjoy more. Let me know what else you think I should review if you've, again, appreciated what I have to bring to the table with these conversations and discussions. I'm not an expert. I'm not using AI, though. I'm just sharing what I have to tell you, because what AI tells you is just what other people have told you. My goal on this channel is to share with you genuinely what I appreciate about these whiskeys. And what I appreciate about this is the quality that it's presented to us, the quality expression, the integrity expression, the integrity bottling, the way it's given to us is genuine so that we can be genuinely appreciating it, genuinely spending time with it, not getting drunk, not overdoing it, but appreciating the time and hard work and the effort and the character of those who do that work going into a product like this, and then sharing it with those around us who also appreciate things like we do. So again, thanks for watching. Please like this video. Until next time, cheers. The more it sits, the more tropical it gets. Banana, pineapple, banana for sure. There's some real banana in here. Check it out. Port Charlotte 10.